Are we live? We're live! Hey! Hey everybody, welcome to Band Night. Let's sculpt January. Day 13. Folklore. So we're going into some deep dark fantasy and see what we can do. Gonna put my coffee cup on the side. Put my cell phone here for maximum maximum distraction. Wow. Yeah, I'm live. Cool. How's everybody doing? So, what are we gonna do when they come from you? So, oops. I kind of need some music. It's too quiet. It's too awkward for me. I can't handle this. It's good to. Yeah, I had a weird thing going on with a stream where it wasn't showing the image of me streaming until I pressed start stream. I was kind of confused. Skyrim. Let's go with. I don't know what to listen to. Forest Fall music. Skyrim Explore sound palettes. Cool, sure. Yeah, let's go with that. So I'm listening to Jeremy Soul, Fall, Forest Fall, Skyrim Explore sound palettes, A and B, from. Yeah, I don't know. Not the original owner, so I shouldn't bring a call out. Okay, so I just Pinterested folklore. I already see a lot of interesting things we can do. Maybe we don't want to create a human this time. We want to create something interesting. Like some kind of creature. So I haven't really done research before I started streaming, so it's nice. Thanks for the like. Welcome to the stream. I heard that some people watch the stream and they mute me. Incredible. I do all this effort of like throwing my opinion out there without being asked to. Oh, this is pretty nice. I've seen some designs that remind me of the Dark Crystal. Dark Crystal has some nice designs. I've seen some trolls. If anybody got any ideas, throw them in the chat, right? Yeah. Let's see here. I could make a troll. Kind of fun. You know, well, it's also kind of scary Japanese folklore. For some reason, I once like got an in-depth look into some of the crazier folklore of Japan, and there is this tale, or there's this habit that in Japanese, I mean, this might like not be true in all Japanese hospitals, but apparently that they used to, when a nurse is carrying a baby that was just born, they're not allowed to look on the sides. They just have to look forward where they're going, because there are demons lurking in hospitals that if they make eye contact with you, you get hypnotized, and you bring them the baby because they feed on fresh born babies. Welcome to this fun stream. Let's see. Definitely Japanese folklore. I'm already seeing some interesting stuff, but a little bit too human-esque. Oh, that might be interesting. Make something scary. Definitely. I'm just gonna click on this image. I'm gonna base myself a little bit of this image, and we're gonna just start doing something, right? We're just gonna start sculpting. I'm just gonna try and get a shape in here that is somewhat appealing. God. There we go. Nose. Smooth it out. Man, I should not use the snake hook tool. Let's use a rake brush. There we go. Let's get a chin in here. This concept I'm looking at is a really crazy chin. I'm not getting my shapes right here. Okay, so this back here. Put this up here. Get a neck in there. Kind of want to have it look forwards. There we go. Like scary forward, right? Like this. There we go. Have this a bit more forward. Smooth it out. Remesh it. Let's go use the rake brush. Let's get a little bit simpler shapes in here so that we can start working from something more basic and we don't already constrain ourselves to shapes we might or might not see here and there. Here. Jawline in here, because even demons have some kind of you know, anatomy going on. So rake brush again. Hi dude, sorry, I don't know your real name, man. Reveal it. My name is Cedric. So that looks like Spider-Man 2099. I'm not making Spider-Man. No. Yeah, I can see what you mean. Does. But that's because like Spider-Man is, you know, it's just the shape of the head with I'm just gonna oops, I'm just gonna remesh this. There we go. It's fixed. There we go. It's a little bit more appealing to look at. I don't want any thin shapes or anything. Get the shape, kind of forward shoulders a little bit. So kind of use clay build up to really get the shape going here. Not that much. I kind of pull this straight. Shoulders up a little bit. Alright, let's get something starting here, right? Hi, nice channel. Thank you, Mustafa. Yeah, I want to bring in eyeballs because every time I try to sculpt the eyes, it fails anyway. So let's already bring in some eyes. It's gonna be a little bit humanoid in nature. I'm not gonna go too far out there. But I think that's the scariest part. I think like things that don't look human at all, like just out there monsters, I don't think we react too scared to that because it's just something weird. It looks like an animal then. But I think the scariest things we see on TV or like demons or monsters, like an animation, they are very humanoid, but they have like features that are not right. I'm thinking like, I saw this 3D animation which was stunning. It was a 3D animation, but it was a little bit horror, one could say. Putting messages here. Yeah, I think like if you if you have something humorous, like I saw the horror short, and the thing that was scary there, like it was parts of humans but in all the wrong places. I think that makes it scary because you recognize, oh, that's an arm, but what is it doing in that, like sticking out of like the forehead, you know, that kind of stuff. I think if our brain tries to recognize certain elements but it kind of fails, then it kind of goes into panic mode, and I think that's where like some of the elements of being scared comes from. Of course, it's like a survival thing. Like you can also get scared of a bear and stuff, but I think like the difference between being scared for your life or being scared because of horror, like just being startled by what you're seeing, like this whole what's it called, Lovecraftian kind of being scared, is because you kind of recognize what it is, but at the same time you don't. Although Lovecraftian is more about kind of recognizing. No, what I'm saying, Lovecraftian is about not understanding what you're seeing. Yeah, that's the thing. I guess crazy. I bought the Necromonicon. I still have to get around to reading it. But Julie started reading it, and she told me a story. We actually recognized elements from it in Death Stranding, from the one story she already like read. And I found it really interesting because I think Death Stranding as a game also comes off as very Lovecraftian. So yeah. This is kind of a, what I'm looking at now is what I kind of like is this is a smiling thing with a really like over exaggerated smile. Okay, so the nostrils go down here, but this line goes up here. So I'm gonna really quickly overemphasize that. So smooth this out. There we go. And go a little bit more extreme with the features and such. It really has this shape going. For the chin, it really points up. Although I don't want to base myself too much off one artwork, but I might for the shape and then for some elements move on to another piece of work. Because again, like I don't want to. Because I don't know if this is more of a classical piece. No, it doesn't seem like it. But it's also not too horror-esque for my taste. I mean, the thing is folklore and not horror, I guess. But you know, I don't know what I said. I want to make something scary. Oh, it kind of looks good, so let's smooth this out. And you can really like put the mouth in here. Kind of like a little bit of a Joker mouth. I might close this mouth because in the reference it got an open mouth with fangs, but I think that's not unsettling enough, you know? I really want something unsettling. I don't know why. There we go. Ooh, I really like where this is going. And I don't want to make it super stylized this time because I kind of want to work on my details. I kind of want to improve myself, you know, get better in the art stuff. Because we can definitely start out by like defining the bigger shapes and all that, you know. Alright, let's see here. Let's go on. Let's find some more reference of Japanese folklore stuff. A lot of like half masks going on and such. Like I kind of want to bring in some elements of the. You have these very typical masks. I don't know if they're Japanese though. I don't want to do something that might be culturally inappropriate, you know. I don't want to make him look right out evil, right? But just so working on the concept a little bit. But now he looks a little bit too devilish. I kind of want him to. He kind of looks like the Joker at this point. Yeah, I'm making this too. Yeah, I'm making my eyebrows too extreme again. Don't want to do that. Don't think really it assists this shape. I'm gonna remesh it a little bit more detail. There we go. If you have any questions, leave them in the chat and I'll answer them. Because at this point this doesn't look really like something Japanese. I think that's a little bit more in the details that's gonna come forward. I should really like define bit. I don't want to make him too muscular, but you do want to kind of have these shapes in here clearly. I kind of remesh it again. Fix this intersection. Maybe a bit too much of the easy way out, but you know, why do it the hard way? There we go. I might go. Like I see a lot of elven ears with these Japanese things. I might go a couple back because I went too much into these masks and stuff. Don't want to go too crazy with the hair. I want to like go even crazier with the form here. My neighbors love making random noises. I don't know what I'm hearing, but it's just like I thought first was because they were moving, but like I hear it every day now. It doesn't bother me that much because I always hear it like 4 or 5 times. It's always like they're moving a couch or they're slamming a couch to the floor. And I don't know what it is. This already makes it way more human. This is a nice concept. I'm just googling Japanese horror. It's like a crazy detailed style. Like, I think to make it more unsettling, I kind of have to stretch some pieces really to the extreme here. Make the ear a little bit lower. Let's get this. little bit this demon ear in there. A lot of them are wearing horns. Just find a Japanese demon. There we go. Kind of like they're sticking more out here. There you go. I guess. Let's give them some curvature. This direction, like let's overdo it. And most things I find are mostly like stylized like Chinese dragons or Japanese dragons. Chinese dragons. I'm just gonna go back into demon folklore, and I find a lot of Japanese stuff now, so that's weird. Or like Japanese style things, or Chinese, might even be Chinese, I don't know. Yeah, I know Japanese when I see it, but yeah, like the whole kitsune stuff, and like I'm not a weep, but oh, that is scary looking. That's like very abstract. Let's get some elements from that. Yeah, let's. Okay, dat was scary. Julie?
Ja?
Waarom ging die deur hier dicht?
Dat is de wind.
She claims it's the wind. It's the demon coming to get me. Like, talking too much about demons and suddenly doors start moving. If there's no stream tomorrow, I've been eaten. Oh boy. Kinda wanna, because that seems a feature I see a lot coming back. Like they have teeth way up in there. Oh god. Okay, this is always the hardest part. Is like figuring out where to go from. Yeah, wasn't it? Just pull out like this. No. I'm just gonna have to build it up. So just build. Okay, and then just, yeah, that's good. And then just use a snake hook, Oh, that's bad. Let's try to apologize. And hope the symmetry doesn't break itself. It's already safe. Yeah, everybody, welcome to the stream. Oh, because this is kind of, I mean, okay, this is what I want, and that corner of the mud kind of goes around this. Of course, I want the curve of this tooth a bit more out there. Maybe bring an element of horror here. What if I do see the teeth, right? Looks like it's from teeth. Like he's biting his underlip. That could work. Yeah. Just roughing this out, right? We're still sketching. There we go. Yeah, kind of still like the shape in here. I might find a reference pic for tomorrow, one, and like ask the concept artist if I can use it. Then maybe we can do something more specific instead of like doing a little bit, yeah. Because I kind of feel sometimes I'm making things a little bit too mediocre because I'm looking at too many reference images. Like mediocre in the sense that keeping these a little bit too generic. Like that's the word I'm looking for, yeah. Let's go, whoops, let's go crazy with the style though. Kinda want, can we go this line? Does this look weird? I mean, sure it looks weird, but oh, it actually looks pretty cool here. Let's pull this a little bit here. Kind of want to create. My viewer count and my like count stay the same. That's good. So everybody who joins the stream is liking it, huh? Just let's pull out the features of the skull a little bit more to the extreme. I think I like that. So I said before, like even if you're making something super crazy, you kind of still want to adhere to anatomy rules. So I know like there's a bump here, right? Now I'm just over exaggerating it to kind of make his skull feature a little bit crazier. I think we could even stretch this more just to create some kind of stretch skin effect. Could be nice. But then you really have to flatten it out on the weight that it stretches, because let's get these lines in here. Kinda like, because yeah, you kinda have to fill this up then a little bit better. There we go. Use the rake brush here. Then we can kind of make this more stretched in places. Kind of have these stretch mark, like people. I want to put a bit in there. We'll get it better once we start detailing this. I was looking for cool ways to visualize this. skinnier again. See that the eyeball is nicely fitted in here. So make this evenly thick everywhere. And then of course pull this a little bit backwards. Kinda smooth this out. Don't want this to happen. There we go. Let's just fix that real quickly. Smooth it out. Maybe inflate it a little bit. Oh, come on. This is not working. I don't see what's going on here. Let's get rid of the eyes for a second. Just gonna forcefully smooth this out, just so I can do a better job here of putting everything in shape here. There we go. Yeah. Oops. All right. Let's get some horror concepts in here. I don't know, maybe I just have to detail it more. Because I'm not super happy with how this looks. Don't want to make it start to look too friendly a little bit. What are you doing down there? You can hear it on the stream, right? I can hear it and I can hear myself, so. It's a little bit too sharp, I think. This is something crazy with the ears. They're hanging down here. Or do make these elf ears. I guess they're building something. Thanks, neighbors. I can't really fault them. They shouldn't like stop building stuff when I'm streaming, but should be happy that they don't do it at night or something. Man, I've had complaining neighbors like crazy. I mean, I had crazy neighbors who were complaining for nothing. I had once had a neighbor, and he came to my door on like a Sunday, and you might disagree with me here, right? So keep an open mind. But he came on a Sunday around 2 p.m. in the afternoon. And I just had music playing, right? But it was on my speakers. I mean, it was a bit loud. Okay, sure. But he came to my door and he was like, "Hey, would you mind putting your music more silent?" I was like, "Oh, sorry. I didn't know you lived under me," because I was kind of confused because I never saw the guy before. But he was like, "No, I live next to the person that lives under you." I was like, "Oh, and my music is too loud." Okay, sure, I'll put it a little bit more silent. And yeah, I'll put it down a couple of notches. This was like, like I didn't play any heavy bass sound or something. But after that, like, he rang again and was like, "Yeah, it's still, I can still hear it." And I was like, "What do you mean you can still hear it?" Like, because the music wasn't even too loud in my own apartment. It was just like, can just imagine having a radio play, right? And I was like, "Sorry, but are you sure it's coming from me?" But I didn't hear like music coming from somebody else. I was like, "Is it really too loud?" And he was like, "Yeah, I can hear it." I was like, "Okay, you can hear my music, but is it too loud?" And then he started explaining, "Yeah, but I really appreciate my silence, and I want my Sunday to be silent." A little bit of context. I live in the middle of a busy town in Belgium. Like, this is a medieval city size, you know? Like, Ghent is not like Brussels or Antwerp, but it's like half of Antwerp in population. But it's still a busy city, and I live like right down in the center. So he also lives right down in the center, and I was like, "So you want a silent environment in the middle of a city?" I was like, so, because he said that the music wasn't too loud per se, but he could hear it, and he didn't want any audible, like, I said him, like, if you just like put on music yourself the same volume as me, you won't hear my music. Like, and again, this wasn't loud, like my music wasn't playing, like I wasn't, because none of my other neighbors ever complained. I think right at the start, I had one party, like a housewarming party, and that kind of went too much. It went on until like 1 o'clock, and then a neighbor came and was like, "Hey, could you kind of shut it down?" I was like, "Oh, okay," and I apologized. I said, "Hey, sorry, yeah, I kind of lost track of time." And then we went to a bar because we never meant to stay here that long. Because I mean, I never have parties here. Like, I don't have enough friends. No, just kidding. But but the thing is, yeah, he just wanted like things to be super silent, and it was like, I was so weirded out by that. Like, I can understand it, but why go live in the city? Because everything is more expensive here. I mean, apartments and stuff. Like, if you want more sound, go live out. Like, maybe he had to be here for his job. I don't know. I don't know his life. I don't want to go assuming stuff. But it was definitely like, because like after that he came complaining again, and I said to him, "Sorry, but I can play music until 10 o'clock at night. Like, I have the right to make noise in my apartment." So I kind of like shoot him off. Like, I mean, I honestly told him, like, you can what's it called, the tenants. You can contact the tenant, or you can call the police. I don't care. I don't think anybody will like agree with you. And I never heard from my tenants. I have a pretty good relationship. Not tenant. That's not the word. I think. Like, let me get my English straight here. I am the tenant. Yeah, one who rents or leases a dwelling. from a landlord. A landlord. Yeah, I have a pretty good relationship with my landlord. So, yeah, she's pretty happy with how I live here and how I do stuff. Because, like, right when I started living here, I also started, like, I went around an apartment and introduced myself and was like, hey, yeah, I come to live here. I do play the piano and guitar, so if you have too much complaints about it, you can let me know sometimes. I also sometimes like have music on. If it's too loud, just send me a message, because then I added them on Messenger. And I said, just send me a message, I'll put it down immediately. And because I also kind of wanted to see how loud I could play stuff, or because I have a small setup here for gaming and stuff, and you know, I like to kind of be immersed, so I do like to have like the surround experience, but you don't have to have your speakers loud, you just have to have your speakers close to you. I think that's kind of the trick, because if you're the best position for your speakers would actually to be much closer to you than your screen, if your screen is far from you. But now we have our speakers behind us, and it kind of gives a cool feeling, but I don't have to put it loud to like be immersed in with the sound. But I do put some value on that. Like, I would like to have a later on, when I have my, like, if I have a house ever or something, or a bigger apartment, I would like to have a home cinema set. Like, kind of want to have the shape here a little bit more accentuated. So, just gonna make it a little bit more like this, and then push it out a little bit, you know. Oof. And kind of flatten this out. There we go. Now we can kind of put details in here. It kind of makes sense. Whoops. But yeah. Because he also said, like, right, I forgot part of the conversation there. Because I said, like, I sometimes play piano or guitar, like, during the day. Because I usually, I'm not too, I mean, I used to not be home much. I used to go to other people's places and hang out there, but, or like, the local pub. That's more like, we have a very nice pub in Ghent. Kind of became friends with the owner. He's a very cool guy. It's called the Comic Sans. Free advertisement. It's a nerds themed, well, I would say geek themed, like nerd culture themed bar, with like arcade machine. Well, it has one arcade machine. It has some pinball machines. It has this weird Pac-Man game, like this co-op Pac-Man game. It's kind of crazy, but yeah, but I really like it. Like, a lot of like-minded people come there, right? So people, Marvel fans and superhero movie fans, also 3D artists. Like, I met so many people of the industry there. It's just because it's so, it kind of goes hand in hand. Like, if you like certain stuff, I think your career is kind of pushed more in one way. Not necessarily, because, you know, I've met people there that like have crazy careers somewhere, and you know, still like Marvel movies. But I feel like a lot of people with the same interest field kind of moved or wanted to move towards gaming or movies creation. But, you know, when you're a nerd, you're in front of your computer a lot, and if you're in front of your computer a lot, you start to, yeah, get like make career choices around it, right? And then your options get kind of limited. I mean, everything is in front of a computer now, but I think either go programmer or visual designer might be what I see most. But yeah, I mean, you still like meet a lot of people there from all kinds of, all sizes and shapes, in the sense of like career-wise, or what they do in life, what they like in life. That's how it should be. And it's a very nice bar. I like it opens a couple of months after I moved here, and I started to go there, and I've lived here now for almost 4 years, and they are now in their 4th year. Is that correct? I don't know. I might be incorrect in that. Don't quote me on that. Don't at me. But yeah, and I really like hanging out there. cool place. Let's see, it gets colder. You're buckled up now to get older. Hey now. Like, it's crazy how big that meme became of Shrek. Like, if you see Shrek opening the door to the toilet, you immediately get this like All Star by Smash Mouth in your stuck in your head. I think like it's the power of the internet. We talked about this previous stream. I think. Did I finish? I should make a dedicated video about that still. About marketing and memification. Because that's certainly a thing. And, like another part of that I didn't touch upon is the fact that what you kind of see as well is like these animation movies that are really bad, like the Emoji Movie that just tried to cash in on trying to make something happen. So you had the emoji dance, right? I didn't see the entire movie, but I saw like parts of it, and of course I saw the comedy critique videos on YouTube. Yeah, call them what you want. It's comedy. But yeah, it's and of course they try to start something like that. They want kids to start dancing the emoji song and making memes about that, right? And they went more for the serious approach, so not the ironic approach. But now, because one popular phrase that came into the whole culture, like I think meme culture is kind of a weird word for me, because memes for me are part of the culture. Like it's kind of the other way around. It's like culture memes instead of meme culture. I don't know. I'm not a sociologist, whatever. But I kind of feel like I'm gonna finish my thought here. Kind of starting to like what I'm seeing here. I'll put in way more detail and currently is in place and kind of find some cool forms here to put in. So like an update that Blender 2.83 is kind of the alpha. You can start downloading it. And this one is more focused on sculpting, so that's nice. That's nice for us. Man, I have to be honest. Like I always, like the first time I started sculpting, I still remember this. Was in my second year of college, my first degree, where I still was like, it was a bachelor's degree in programming, like in game development, really. But we got a basic course in 3D as well. Yeah, ironic, I know. But trying to get a better curve in here. And yeah, they showed us the sculpting tools and they gave us the assignment of sculpting like realistic wood or cartoony wood, I don't know. But I was like, wait, you can do this? Like, I never knew that there was something like as 3D sculpting. This must have been back in 2010. So I don't think like Blender had like developed real sculpting tools. ZBrush was out there, but you know, that was still like back in the day we didn't have access to a lot of those stuff, so or were informed about a lot of that stuff. But yeah, we so I started sculpting. I was like, wait, you can do this, like you don't have to model everything. And I started to sculpt a face, and I was really like into it. And I was like, what's today's theme? The theme today is folklore. You can see it in the title of the video. But it's a folklore, so we're doing some Japanese-esque folklore here, combined with a little bit of a horror thing. But yeah, and I wanted to make like faces and characters with this. And then over the years, I constantly did something else. I did graphic design, I did websites, I did. I went to be a 3D lighter, like as a job. And only like after I really went into Blender again and started like playing around with the sculpting tools, and because I kind of was involved with the SculptJanuary guys as well, I started sculpting again. And really basic at the beginning, really basic. And I, to this day, regret that I didn't do this more, because this SculptJanuary has probably been the most I've sculpted ever. I still remember, because 2 years ago I also did SculptJanuary, but I did only like half of the days. And even then, like the sculpts took like half an hour. And I didn't put in a lot of effort, because, you know, you say, oh, my life is so busy, and then you stop working at 8 o'clock, and then you start gaming for 5 hours straight, and you can't wake up early because you know you gamed until like a crazy amount in the night. So I kind of want to go with my original plan here, but I kind of dreaded it because it was but I kind of want to make this look like it's not actually skin, but it's like part of the skull. But I have to be careful what I do here, because I can't shade this real. I don't want to shade this because it's still like a sculpting challenge. I don't want to read apologizes and everything. I can't really color it, so I can't really sell that idea with the color. So I'm just gonna see what this brings, how it looks. This looks like crap at the moment. Sorry for my swearing. I mean, I don't know if people are bothered with me swearing. Like in general in life, I swear a lot. I'm proud to say that I kind of like, sometimes I'm like, maybe I should swear less. It's just, you know, I'm just gonna go with the overbite here, but in a little bit different sense, because I'm kind of liking what's being generated here. Ooh, that might look like a racial stereotype. Let's not do that. I kind of make it to a point here, and we can kind of create a feel that this is flashed by creating a seam here and here. I'm kind of destroying the geometry here a little bit, but you know, I'm just gonna remesh it. I might have done already too much detailing. Like once I get into automatic mode, I start like detailing stuff that doesn't need detailing yet. I might like Control Z what I'm doing. Yeah, I'm gonna put in a lot more detail first. So let's go to 0.004. Remesh this. Let's have a talk for a minute. Yeah. So like I didn't like. I was lazy. Still am, and I don't think there's something wrong with being lazy. I think a lot of people either give themselves too much flack for not being productive all day every day, but I mean that's, you can't, like, I know there's people out there that do it. I know there's these crazy artists who draw for 10 hours every day and they make absolutely amazing stuff, but there's also a lot of artists who do it only 5 days a week for 8 hours or 7 hours and still also make amazing stuff. So don't, like, I always tell people this, don't like don't make yourself guilty or convince yourself, don't convince yourself that you would be better if you, of course you would be better if you spend more time on it, so spend time on it, but like also enjoy life a little bit, you know. I think that's the main gist. Like, you shouldn't sell your soul just to become good at something, because then why do you want to be good at something? I think like is it because of the validation? Is it because you want to be validated, or is it because you want to get a good portfolio, or what's the main goal, you know? I think you should focus on that, and then kind of focus on how to achieve that goal efficiently instead of like working yourself to death. Because there's people out there who draw like all day and they just put all their energy in drawing and they don't draw good. And it's not because they're not talented or anything, it's because they are not learning smart. like learning to do stuff is not only about like doing something 10 times in a row, because like after every sculpt I try to see, I'm still like criticizing my own sculpts the day after, especially the day after I look at my own sculpts. I'm like, what could have I done better? Earring, I'm not gonna add an earring to every sculpt. Words of wisdom, yeah. But it's, yeah, because I noticed this myself too. I start to feel real guilty because I didn't like push myself to the extreme. But then at some moment I just stopped and I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm just gonna, first enjoy life and then do the things I love and just do them on my pace. And you might not become rich and famous that way, but you might like enjoy life, and at the end of your life you might be like, yeah, this was a good life. I think one of the things that is in the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, I don't want to go into efficient marketing and stuff, but or efficient living. I don't like a lot of self-help books. I actually don't like a lot of them, but the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People I like, because it's more about, it says effective, but I think a more well, yeah, some points are really effective, but some points are really also about how to avoid living an unhappy life, basically. So you have been proactive and such, but there's a allegory in there, or like a story, like, and this is kind of a little bit morbid, but it's also like very helpful. I told this to a lot of friends to do, and it kind of also helped them, is that you should kind of imagine yourself at your own funeral. So you visit your own funeral, like not that people would see you, but you could go there as a ghost, right? So you're a ghost, you're at your own funeral, and you see the people there. And you have to ask yourself, who would you want to be there, and what would you like them to say about you? What, like, after your life is over, you can't do anything else. And it's not like, no, you're not a ghost, you're somebody else. That's the thing, because if you're a ghost, then it's still like self-validation. But you're somebody else. Just imagine being somebody else, going to your own funeral, and people say things about you, like he was this and that, and then start living by what you want that those people say about you. And I think for me, one of the more important parts are, that I've been the best friends for my friends, and that I've been a help to people, and like helping people is really like, I'm not too much of a support worker or somebody who goes building houses in poor areas, but and I really appreciate people doing that. But yeah, myself, I'm more of a like I like being creative. I like telling stories, and I like helping people. These are my main drives. So, and I was like, I hope that people will say that about me once. Like, they will say like, he was such a help to people. And I'm just kind of, it sounds like I'm kind of, what's the word, being narcissistic here. But I mean this in all the good ways. So you should also like check what is important to you. What do you want to achieve? And there's no wrong answers to this as well. Because I think there's this mentality in the 21st century where, or like these last couple of years, where there's such a pressure on young people to achieve stuff. I think there's 2 main reasons. One is like a lot of responsibilities got like, I don't want to say like, it's kind of weird. We live in a world controlled mainly by the older generation, but then everything is our fault. I don't want to make this in a generational thing, because I don't really believe in generations. I don't think that there is trends or things you can see in generations, because every generation says the same thing about the previous generation and goes through the same phases. We all have our cause, we all have our rebel phase, we all complain about younger people, we all complain about like things that are out of our control. These are all like traits that humans have, like, and this is kind of normal. So I don't really believe in generational, but we do live in times where we are very globalized. So we have the internet. We have a lot of communication. We have a lot of with each other, and it's like you suddenly feel, in a real sense, the state that the world is in, and what needs to be done to save it. You know, you suddenly feel the pressure to kind of save the world. But you shouldn't feel that pressure. You should do what you can to save the world, of course, like global warming and all that. I don't want to make it too political, but you know, we should kind of try to save the world, but together. But I think that, in combination with that, we also see a lot of successful people, like, and coming back to those artists, you know, you see this crazy Asian artist who draws immense, like 4 meters on 2 meters painting, like without sketches. He just inks it and it looks crazy detailed, it looks crazy perfect. He just draws it from his mind. Yeah, okay, cool. But we suddenly have a lot more reference to compare ourselves to. Like 50 years ago, you saw like stuff in a museum, or you saw stuff that your friends made, and then that was your whole comparison. Well, you know, for visual artists, that is. I think this also counts for other sectors, so I'm not just talking about art. But now you have the internet. You daily see stuff that you could do, that you could aspire to. People who doing stuff that you are, in a first sense, proud of, but then you're like, oh man, I wish I could do that. And I think therein lies the danger of, I'm just gonna push this in a little bit, of that pressure, because you see very young people being very successful, and you're like, why am I not successful, right? The reality is that becoming like successful or like really successful at a young age is extremely rare. I think like most people should, and I'm also doing that, like my big breakthrough, or like I'm counting like to achieve like career success at my when I'm 30, right? Not when I'm 22. I'm now 28, so we have 2 more years left, and that's never gonna happen. But I'm just gonna draw more lines here, because I really want, again, to these lines that they go around. Really want to bring in these folds. I kind of want to make it a little bit less jolly and stylized like my previous sculpts. This one doesn't work. Let's go again with the I liked how this looked in the other one, the sharper blob tool. Just really brings in, I don't know, I'm gonna just check if I can do something interesting with this. No. If I push it a little bit further, yeah, that kind of works. So, oh man, I'm gonna put on this again. So yeah, I think like a lot of people feel pressure. A lot of people feel like things they shouldn't feel, right? It's like you should just, like, most people will, and I'm talking about more than 99.9% of people, will live like you live, like being not sure what they want to do, not sure about what the path they've chosen is the right path. I also never think there is a right path. I think there's, I should slowly change this into a self-help channel. That's like the weirdest question, like, that I asked myself as well when I was younger. When I was younger, man, I'm sounding like an old man. I'll put my fall off on sharp here. I'm just gonna try and pull the teeth up here. I'm just gonna make them a little bit rounder, make them a little bit goofier. There we go. And then maybe with a smooth fall off, kind of push these forward again, because I kind of want them round and kind of go down here, yeah, like this. So So that the shadow, once I put a light on top of it or at the bottom, it kind of looks better. So yeah, I think like, cause I've seen people panic about, I don't know what I want to do. I see people being more successful than me, or I see people like, you know, people are asking me what I want to do. People are asking me, yeah, and it's like at such a young age, like people like who are 20, 21, 22, ask questions like, I don't know what I have to do with my career. I'm like, chill out. You have more than time left. You can do whatever you want. I think even at the age of 40, you can still be like, or 50 even, like you can be like, I'm gonna do a full career switch without any repercussions, right? So nobody's gonna hang you at the town at the town center for like not knowing what you want. But I know where this pressure comes from. It's like all these elements of, it doesn't have a single cause, right? Nothing has really a single cause. I don't believe that. But it's like you want to realize that, yeah, most people, we kind of are in an identification crisis. We are kind of like, who are we and how do we define ourselves? Like the generation before us broke down the Berlin Wall. The generation before that, like lived through the Great Depression. The generation before that fought in the Second World War. I mean, it's kind of overlaps. I still, like, I don't believe in generations, but, and there's this kind of this pressure, like, what do we define ourselves with? Because their goals, in some sense, were easier. And now we live in a society, like, yeah, we live in a globalized society where everything we do gets judged. I mean, you post something on Facebook that saves the environment. Hey, Sitchi, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. You post something about saving the environment, and somebody will criticize you for it. You post something on Twitter about saving some kind of animal, and they will criticize you and be like, is this really the most important thing you should focus on? And we get criticized basically for everything we do. I kind of want to bring this in a better shape here. I don't know. What is this supposed to be? I think like I kind of want to have these lines a little bit in here. Also, this doesn't make sense, right? I think maybe have them a little bit more here. Yeah, this looks better. Because I wanted to stretch kind of to... It kind of looks weird, and I kind of like that it looks weird, right? Looks like... It doesn't really look like skin. There we go. Kind of smooth this out just a little bit. It's a bit too much, but and just my advice to everybody is like, chill. The world will not burn you for I mean, it kind of like, I know a lot of people live in different places and a lot of different situations, and not everybody has the same opportunities, and some people are, I'm way privileged. I get to do what I like, and I know a lot of people don't have that opportunity. But and I think, yeah, we shouldn't take things for granted as well, of course. We shouldn't be spoiled. But I think at the same time, like, chill out, like, enjoy your life. Be the person you want to be. You don't need materialistic things, as long as you have the basic stuff. I really hope you do. I mean, if you're watching a stream on YouTube, I guess you already have a computer, so, or smartphone, so you're not in too bad of a shape. But yeah, don't seek out like riches, or it doesn't really, you know, help in life. Like, enjoy what you have, and be the person you want to aspire to be. I know this person who, I think nowadays we have more options, but also we are more afraid of making bad choices. Yeah, that's actually a pretty good point. We do have more options. Like, I think most people have more options than they had. I also think like it kind of seems like a lot of people don't. But I think in the world we live in now, it kind of is easier to completely go somewhere else And I know this is not true for everybody. This is not true for all the nations, but I'm just thinking of China. Chinese people. But I think it's a good example of like, yeah, people who are born in China. It's like, or like even more extreme, like North Korea. If you're born in North Korea, yeah, you're a bit fucked, you know. But I think that's like, I mean, that's a bad example. Not everybody has a privileged life, right? But I mean, that's also kind of beside the point. I think the point is because, yeah, look, I'm already like afraid of being judged about like, but yeah, what about those people? Yeah, no, it's true. Like, be the person you want to be. There's no exceptions. And if you can't be the person you want to be, fight for it. No, it's said easier than done, but I think if you, the moment you stop fighting for who you want to be, fighting is just like, it doesn't have to be a constant struggle of showing how strong you are. Fighting just means, you know, sticking to your principles and telling people your principles without being afraid to being judged. That's not easy for everybody. I mean, it wasn't easy for me. I kind of got like, only like the last couple of 2 years, I got accustomed to telling people if, like not adhering to peer pressure and being like, yeah, no, I do not want to do that. Because I used to be like very, I mean, I enjoyed that stuff. Like in my youth, I went out, I did drinks and stuff. Like I did drinks and stuff. I still drink. I still enjoy my glass of wine in the evening. But yeah, what I'm talking about is like a crazy partying and drinking a little bit too much and, you know, that kind of stuff. And it's like enjoying life a bit, you know. And there's nothing wrong with that. But like last couple of years, I haven't enjoyed that so much. Probably becoming old, but there was a time where I would still go along with it, just because of, yeah, because everybody else still liked doing it. But I think in the last year, especially, cause you know. We've been living together for a year now as well, and like a lot has changed in my life, but yeah, it's kind of crazy to think that now I kind of feel more confident, and I think a lot of friends of mine, I kind of surround myself with people who are very accepting of who you want to be and what you want to do. But it's like somebody will organize something, and the people who don't want to do that, like, you can still be a little bit like, oh, come on, it'll be fun, you know. You kind of have to push each other's boundaries and stuff. You don't have to accept it every time somebody doesn't want to do anything. Is this smooth enough? What happened? Did I remesh this into, oh, let's go to 0.05 and smooth the normals. It was kind of a little bit too much detail. Yeah, that's better. Don't wanna know what I want to do with the eyes. If I want to create small eyes, I mean, you know, I mean, you can go crazy with this, right? I mean, if I want to create, but that's a little bit on the nose, I think, a little bit too much. Create Rick and Morty eyes. Ooh wee. No, it's just, but yeah, to go to the point I was about to make, I kind of like, I want to become a creative who tells stories and who does what he likes. I don't always have the freedom to do that. I have to do jobs that kind of feel not like, you can't like always do what you like if you want to have money to live comfortably, of course. You know, there's people who do that, and I hope I will get there someday to every day do what I love and just make a living out of it. And you can help doing that. Help me doing that by joining my Patreon. This is all just like one giant tangent into a Patreon ad. No, just kidding. But it's like, yeah, I kind of try to come up with a business idea or come up with stuff. Like I'm designing some stuff. I'm working on some other projects that could allow me to have a career in doing stuff that I love doing. And you'll see some stuff popping up in the next, let's say, months. I don't like how in creating all these details I kind of destroyed the bigger detail here because it kind of needs to be pushed in more. Yeah, that's better. And I kind of want to the tooth here. I didn't give a lot of attention yet. It's still kind of sticking out here a little bit weirdly. And this can go here. So that's connected. Don't want any ambiguous lines. And kind of like detail this like we did with the horn. Kind of consistent detail, right? So we have this hard line here. Can we even like, let's get the snake hook tool. Go like this. That's too much like a mustache. Maybe we can put it here. Kind of like, and it kind of looks like it's, you know, there's this S curve here. That's fine. And we're just gonna use the pinch brush and just pinch out the top here to make it a little bit sharper. Kind of inflate the back here, although it's not really visible. It doesn't really matter that much. Yeah. But if I can give one advice that might be general, you know, is to never criticize somebody for a lack of knowledge. I think this is something I fell into. I mean, I just made a. I'm gonna talk about the CGBoost challenge for a second in a minute because something happened over there. It's kind of relatable to the topic. Kind of want to smooth this a little bit more out. This curve. There we go. But if there's one advice, yeah, so don't criticize anybody for a lack of knowledge. Educate them. If you know something better, educate them. And also never confuse what's it called? I don't know what it's called. Oh yeah, this looks cool. Never confuse opinion with fact. I think like I see this like especially in political discussions. I'm not gonna go into political opinion because you don't want to know my political opinion. No, I'm just kidding. I'm very central. I think this might be a little bit. I might like burn myself here, but I think that not every, but I think most political points have a point, and I think the best decisions made are between the two extremes, right? I don't believe, and I believe that extreme. I like a friend of me told this once, and kind of stuck to me as well. It's very wise of her. But I think extremes, she said, and I can agree. Extremes are necessary to push the normal stuff, right? Because, like, just think you have a political party that just says we want to find the average. Nobody's gonna vote for them. They're gonna be, because you still live kind of in a democracy where, well, I hope you guys live in a democracy. Well, I shouldn't say hope because democracy might be overrated, but that's another discussion. But where like still people vote a little bit for the extreme because they're like, I don't think most people are extreme. I don't think there's a dangerous right movement in Europe going on. I think like, yeah, there's more of a platform now with the internet, but I think even the more rights, like even, well, let's say I have friends who have their opinions about that stuff, and I'm like, yeah, I understand why you have that opinion. But even they will never be super racist against somebody. And of course there will be people like that. There's idiots in the world. We can't live without our idiots. And it's on both sides. It's on all the sides. There's even like two sides, like the whole nationality against socialism this or racist that. And it's like that's not two sides of a political discussion. Those are two different movements that both have a point. I mean, they all have points, and they all have points that are ridiculous. And it's just like, and I think like most political systems work because they kind of have to sit together, and the points that get agreed on are the points that both parties are like, okay, yeah, but okay, that's true. And then, with most of these cases, the facts will be involved. Like, I mean, if squirrels are a danger to human society, and they sit in the Senate and are like, we have to eradicate squirrels, then if the facts say, yeah, every day like 10 people die because of squirrels, then yeah, sure, let's eradicate squirrels. Death to the squirrels. No, but if the facts don't support anything like that, or it just seems too outrageous, then I mean, I think like the biggest evildoer in history is misinformation. And I'm kind of happy that I live in a society where we have the internet, where most of us, and I'm kind of looking at China, most of us have free internet, or like other countries, but you know, I don't want to go too out there with my opinion. And it's like, I think most people can agree on most stuff, given all the information. And you can never say, and what the point I wanted to make is like, you can never say to somebody you're wrong if they're giving an opinion. Everybody has an opinion. Everybody kind of wants things a little bit different because of life experience. You don't know what they've been through. They don't know what you've been through. And most discussions I even see are like beside each other's point. Like somebody's trying to give the point like, this is pretty hard to give an example, I think, without going into politics. What am I creating here? What is this? Kind of liking where this is going though. Kind of still detailing a little bit. But it's like, you know, somebody will say, oh, 50% of this is that. And then another person will say, yes, but don't you want to see... Like somebody's discussing whether they should paint a room red or blue, and the other one is just saying that the floor is black. And it's like, yeah, but you're not like coming to a point. You're not like discussing each other's point. And I see it a lot like in political discussions. Like I think most politicians are smart enough to debate in a good sense, but I think they are more busy with, and then again too, everything is an advertisement. I should write that book, Everything is an Advertisement. That even political campaigns are to some degree just marketing campaigns, and like even crazy stuff that like Trump's victory is, I mean, I don't care that much what happens in the US because frankly I don't live there, but but and I will probably never go live there. Nothing against the US. I have family in the US. It's a very like beautiful country. But I think Trump's victory just, and Belgium had this to some small degree, is just, it proves that marketing in politics works. It's just like, you know, the more clicks you have, the more popular you get, and it's all about popularity. I think even like a lot of people who voted on Trump knew that like he was just, you know, he is like kind of a joke. I don't think anybody can deny that. I don't think you can look at everything that Trump said and done and be like, oh yeah, no, that I rely on that guy. And again, like, but I don't think that the whole Republican Party or the whole Senate in the US kind of agrees on that, and I still think they make decisions kind of based on, and it kind of becomes a problem though, because in the US, like the winning party, even though it's very 50-50, the winning party kind of has all the power. I don't want to claim this because I don't know exactly how it works, but I think a system like in Belgium works better because if it's divided like 50-50, neither party can ever like force laws to be instated. Some people think that's a problem, but I think actually that's pretty good because it's still like you can't do anything because democracy voted that we like the middle. If you have, because in Belgium, like, there's a lot of parties with a lot of different movements, and they're all kind of divided, and each couple of years kind of goes from one end to the other. And I think that's just because, and people don't want to admit it, but I think that's because people are pretty happy with how they're living. And I think there's a lot of people complaining that things should be different, but it's easy to say that things should be different, but I've never heard somebody say what should be different or what exactly should change. I think it's pretty easy to say things should be different if the outcome looks to be in your favor. Like, I think it's pretty easy to say they're always throwing things around about money, like, oh, we'll save more money, and then automatically you think, oh, so I'll have more money, and then people start voting for them, and it's like, it's not really how it works. But yeah, enough of the political discussion. Let's go to the CGBoost discussion. The thing I was about to say that's also kind of applicable to this subject is there was somebody who made a really big complaint about how so for people who don't know, let's give a little bit of context. So SculptJanuary is in part like the prompts that I'm following, and if you Google SculptJanuary, you'll go to the CGBoost challenge. So that part of like the SculptJanuary movement is organized by the CGBoost people, which I'm kind of part of. So it's not like really so Zacharias has the company CGBoost, and we're just kind of helping him out on some stuff. Not to go too into the stuff in there, but and somebody said on the CGBoost challenge is a monthly challenge now. It came from the weekly CG challenge, but it's a monthly challenge. You can find it on Facebook. It's very fun. Join in. But then all the judges that you can find on CGBoost, because I'm one of the judges, and it's like I think it's like 10 people now. We all together vote on who's the winner, and there's some prizes involved in that. Now, somebody complained that they didn't agree with the winners, and that it always seems like they're chosen randomly, and came up with a lot of examples about why didn't this one win or why didn't that one win. And normally I kind of stay out of those discussions because I didn't want to lecture them. But at that point I kind of felt like maybe my answer was a bit too salty. But I was kind of like, you're criticizing people who, because all the judges work in the industry, all the judges, like, I mean, you can see them on the CGBoost challenge website, so this is not like, secret stuff, or is it? I don't know. So there's the CGBoost courses made by Zacharias, which are really good. Where can I see the? Oh, judging. Click here to see the judges. Yeah, okay, so they're public knowledge. So wow, we have a lot of judges now. And Zacharias doing it. So 16 judges, right? And they're all like, so who is it? Like Zacharias Reinhardt, who is an instructor for 3D for years. He's very good. He made like courses which are really good. You have Julian Kaspar, who's an outstanding 3D artist. You have me. I don't know why I'm in there. But then Lucas, like who else? Like I don't want to name drop too many. But there's a lot of like coders, industrial designers. Like AD Burrows is in there as well. Other ones are a little bit less known, naming wise, but they like kind of work at Quixel. They work at The Grove, Creative Shrimp, CG Masters, like all of these big names. And then there's me. Should probably change my title on that, but no, I kind of feel honored like being in there. But I said like, yeah, sorry, but you're judging people who do this for a living, like who on very big productions, like not AAA, but still on very big productions, they have to kind of see the creative vision. And even though it's a subjective kind of process to kind of say, oh, this one is the best, it's kind of personal taste, sure. but there's a very objective ground structure to visual appeal. There's composition, there's form, there's shape, there's color use, there's readability, there is technical prowess. Like, these are the points I also pointed in there, which you can look at very objectively, and then look at the person who kind of either very well stood out in one of these subjects, but mostly it will be the person who has who shows a good understanding of that. And the person was criticizing, she was also using a pseudonym, so I'm not sure if it was a she or a he, but they kind of showed why aren't these winners. And I first wanted to go over them one by one and show why. And I might still do that in some sort of way. But, like, that's not, I mean, we should first criticize our own work and then criticize others. And, like, criticizing judges because it came off as a bit of salty. Like, you didn't win the challenge, and it's like, oh, these were picked at random. It comes off a little bit salty, you know. It comes off a little bit like, let's find another line here. Kind of like, I think this area is still a little bit too flat, so I'm trying to find what I can add here, maybe. Just like, what can I add this line? Oh yeah, that might kind of work. Just subtly add that, but I'm just gonna inflate it a little bit more, so that has a kind of a smoother ramp going on. Makes it look a little bit more human. But yeah, and it's just like, sorry, but the picture she showed was very not understanding of what a visual appeal is, because even though it's subjective, the reason why you think a movie is beautiful, you can sometimes really boil down to very theoretical stuff. And I'm gonna make a video about it because I really feel like I kind of should, not to defend myself, not to defend the judges, but to kind of make people understand, like, because I think like most people do understand this, right? But I think there's a lot of people out there who think that this is all subjective. I think there is a because I mean, at the end it is subjective, because your end consumer, mostly, like, especially if you work in commercial movies, commercials, series, Netflix, and all that good stuff, your end consumer doesn't know the theory mostly behind art and visual art. But we know why people like looking at certain images. Things like warm temperatures and cold temperatures being in balance, things like forms being readable, silhouettes, the rule of silhouettes. Like, if you apply these rules, it becomes so much more visually appealing. And that's very theoretical. And we always look at the theoretical stuff first. If we see hot pinks with slimy green and indistinguishable shapes, or if we see like compositing just being out of whack, and if it doesn't do anything interesting with it, I think the best thing I heard about that is never break the rules until you master the rules. Yeah, and I think that's a nice note to end this on, because I think a lot of people defend their work with, yeah, but I want to break the rules. Don't. Follow the rules until you understand them so well that you know why you're breaking them. Wes Anderson didn't make movies with hey, how you doing? I think Wes Anderson didn't folklore. I don't think Wes Anderson. No, I know Wes Anderson didn't make movies with a central compositing in the funky way he did before he totally understands why we have the rule of thirds. He went through those basics. He knows what he's doing, and he also knows how to present it. And he's a master of the visual arts, like all people who made it big, right? Whoa, that's loud music. Why is it suddenly so loud? Wow, that's crazy. The music was always so silent, and then suddenly. Alright. But we might move on to lighting because like I'm running out of details to add to this bad boy. So like thinking, kind of add this. It stretches, right? But it stretches in a way that kind of smooth. So like here, and that might kind of work. Kind of make an extra seam here. I want to make a little bit more of a detailed work, and I kind of succeeded in some sense already. But yeah, I'm probably gonna make a video about that because it's, we always get comments like this, and then you know in the future I just can forward them to the video that I made myself. But no, like the advice I can give, like, you know, everything boils down to the same point. Educate yourself on all theoretical things and facts. Never criticize somebody without knowing where they're coming from, and enter into debate rather than to criticize. You know, and seek to. That's the thing about 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. One of the habits is seek to understand before being understood. And with that, we're gonna jump into lighting. Look at that. Such a nice tangent. Yeah, I know I get a little bit too talky sometimes with the, oh boy, gonna have to kind of zoom in here, kind of put the camera here. I don't know where I want to put the camera, but kind of want to make it a little bit forward, like this. Kind of forgot to, he's super symmetrical at this point. Maybe we don't want that. So let's turn off our symmetry and do 2 things. Namely, first turn off our symmetry and kind of break the symmetry here and there a little bit by making subtle changes. And that already kind of helps. That's one of the rules. That's one of the theoretical rules. Never make something super symmetrical, except if you really went out of your way to do that. Like if it serves some kind of purpose. Never break the rules unless it has a purpose, right? I think maybe I have to make these 2s a little bit sharper here. Yeah, I don't really like how I did the edges here. The tooth looks super weird. The teeth, sorry. My English. Maybe like even put one shoulder in front of the other. Make it a little bit higher. There we go. One horn a little bit. And that kind of breaks the symmetry a little bit in a way that, you know, makes sense. Yeah, I like how this one turned out. Why is my camera like rotated weirdly? Yeah, I really want to center him. I don't know, like him looking at the camera makes this a little bit more creepier. I kind of like that. So shall we go for light from below? You know, I don't like my lighting look. I'm gonna make a new window. I'm just gonna go to layout and do some settings here. So we first want to disable our relationship lines, extras, no extras, want outline. Yeah. Origin can be off, motion spots and bones, and annotations to the 3D cursor. The floor, the grid, the axis. Yeah, cool. And then we can go into this view. And then I kind of want to have 2 views open here. One with the camera, where I turn all of this off. right? And then here we can kind of play with the lighting. Took us long enough to make a setup up for this. Let's go. Yeah, we've never went and used the color red a lot, so. Oops, that's the wrong light. I'm just gonna use red and orange here to kind of give them a rim light. The red's a little bit too out there. I don't know, like how this turned out. Like something that's also very creepy is like front lighting, right? Kind of comes off as unnatural. I think I really want to go front and a little bit down. Just got some of the shadows in there, right? Because that's the thing. Like I'm enhancing like the silhouette here and the form. By doing that, I'm gonna move the camera a little bit here. What we can do is turn on the cam safe areas, viewport display, composition guides. There it is. Center. No. Oh wait, is that? Yeah. And we can kind of move like this to the center of the image, right? So now I'm breaking one of my own rules. Why I'm not following thirds? Because I want to make you feel uncomfortable. And feeling uncomfortable, I put this in the middle, like maybe a little bit off center, because then the neck is a little bit more in the middle. Kind of have to feel it out, right? But I'm breaking some rules. I'm putting them in front, which you shouldn't do, really. What does this light do? Does this light do anything? No. Should we add it? No. Maybe add another white light to kind of silhouette. Because if you turn this off and on, you can kind of see a little bit more detail. I'll make this smaller, or to put it under there. I'll put it a lot less extreme. Yeah, it kind of helps. Yeah, I really like him. Oh yeah, let's give him the shader. Man, I always forget to lock down these shaders. Absent, material, clay. Cool. Also save this. That looks cool. Can we make the eyes darker? Will it look kind of weird, or? Kind of feels nice to have the eyes black. Don't know why. I'm gonna leave it like this. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Is this light too bright? And we can really make it creepy by turning off the colored lights here and turning the volume scatter to 0.01 or something. No, volume absorption. Is it gonna work? Yeah. But I don't want to hide away details, right? So If I make this white, just a tad reddish. And I want to slide a little bit closer, a little bit more from the back. And I definitely like to do 4. It's Control Z. Yeah, I'm just gonna redo it because Control Z and Blender these. And I'm gonna put this back on volume scatter, I think. Oops. I should just put this on 1 and then change the color depending on how much I want this ambient to be there. Hey, Jimpamplura. Hey, Dai Senshi. Thanks. You being talky is super in my opinion. Oh, yeah. Thanks. Yeah, I never really know for sure if I should talk this much or, you know, I'm just coming off as a bit peachy or whatever the name is. I can't remember. Oh wait, it's the other way around. And apparently eyes to the head, not the other way around. Gonna see if I still wanna go to from view. I think it looks nicest. Maybe like for once I wanna add depth of field. So I'm gonna focus on the eyes. And then kind of see what effect this brings. Kind of pull it up slowly to like only the shoulders are kind of out of focus, which it doesn't really happen. Ratio. What does this do? Nothing. Oh, you know what we could do? Bring the camera a lot closer. And then making the focal length a little bit creepier. That helps. Yeah, that's definitely good. Maybe even rotate it a little bit. So it kind of looks down on you. Just slide a little bit out of the way. Still you want to go a little bit more for an orange feel here. Turn this light down. Smaller. A little bit more back here. Oh yeah. There we go. Creepy. Put a light here. I kind of feel like we're missing some detail by not putting a light on top here. So now wondering how I can fix that. Kind of re-add that light here at the bottom. And these are the most lights I've ever had for a piece. But oh, this looks good. Yeah. Oh yeah. Is everybody liking this? Nobody feeling uncomfortable? I'm just gonna render it out, check it out, how it looks. Rendered, you know. It's always a little bit of a difference. Let's go here. Okay. Okay, so I think there's two things missing. So we're going back to sculpting for a second. And I think one of them is not edit mode. Oh no. Oh no. No. Go back to sculpt. There we go. And Blender has definitely improved on not crashing quickly. But I kind of want to... What's happening? Oh no, I only want X mirror, sorry. I'm gonna go from the camera view. I'm gonna push this a little bit in so the head is a little bit more rounder. It was bothering me, and I think this seam, I'm not sculpting with my mouse, shouldn't it? And this seam, I think should be a little bit harder. Cool. Yeah. And maybe I'm gonna go to my settings here. My render settings. There we go. Yeah, ambient occlusion might go a little bit more. Oh no, distance is fine. Put the factor on 5. No, it doesn't do anything. Oh, that's weird. There's no ambient occlusion in my scene. Why isn't there ambient occlusion in my scene? That's my scale too now. I'm just gonna overdo this just to see if something works here. Yeah. Nope. Cool. Did I forget something? Bloom is working, right? Yeah. Subtle, but helps. Surf scattering is fine. Shadow is fine. If you turn off soft shadows, it becomes a little bit more crazy. Oh yeah, we should definitely, what I forgot to do maybe. Under shadow, we want to be sure the context shadows are on for, they're on, cool. It's fine. I think I'm overthinking it a little bit too much, perhaps. other colors, yeah. And maybe I want to put in a shadow blocker for like some of the light that hits the neck. So the way we do a shadow blocker is we put in a plane that kind of blocks the light here, and because of the soft shadows, it's not really that obvious. So I'm gonna put this up so it just covers the neck here. And what we do in shading is we create a new shader and put the alpha on 0. No. Yes. And then on materials, I'm gonna blend mode on alpha clip. And then you don't see it, but the shadow is still being cast. So I might still kind of move this around so it kind of becomes not that obvious. And then we kind of, if we move it away, I think there's a little bit too much of the neck in there, and I don't want to do that in Photoshop. So I might even make this a little bit more round here, so it's just not that extreme, you know. There we go. So without, with, that helps. Just gonna save that. That's how you make a shadow blocker. It's not that complicated. Well, a light blocker, I would say, not a shadow blocker. It is, you cast a shadow with an object that's not in the scene, just to kind of, you don't really do that in physically based scenes or something, but you know, it could pop up like. So now, because otherwise I would do it in the shaders, right? I would just make the neck a little bit darker. But yeah, there we go. That looks fine. It's 4 o'clock, so I'm right on time. Is it fine? Yeah, it's fine. Stop overthinking. It's fine. I wanna... Oh, yeah. Whoops. I'm gonna have to check something really quick. Whoops. You're not supposed to see that. Oh, yeah. Okay. You do something. Okay, what is going on here? Oh yeah, I see what's going on here. Okay, hold on for me for just a hot second. I wanna thank all my Patreons. Yay! I wanna thank all my Patreons for supporting me this month. I especially want to thank Taylor Brown for being a knight on the Patreon. You can be a knight. Have I told you about the Patreon tiers? I will tell you a little bit more about the Patreon tiers because I always tell you to check it out, but I should just explain to you what you can do. You can just become a resident, and I'll put your name up here in the credits, and you can see your own name on the stream or videos I'll make. That's super awesome. You can be a Sir Knight, and I will totally thank you personally at the end of the stream. So that's pretty cool. You can also follow me on Patreon to see my posts there. You can become Lord Governor. Oh dear Lord Governor, I will give monthly feedback in a video of one of your artworks of a work in progress. So I will go into detail of one of your artworks to kind of give some feedback on stream or in a video. You can become a Baron, and with a Baron of Bandite, you will gain access to monthly private 1 hour long one-on-one sessions where you can ask questions, feedback, and talk. So once a month, we will set up a Discord call or a Skype call, and I will talk with you about. We might stream this to your choosing, whether we stream this or not, or record this. It would rather be recorded than streaming. But then we can, or privately, we can talk about your artworks or talk about your process, and I can help you with anything you need. So check out those tiers. If you support me, you can get one of those tiers on my Patreon. If you go to patreon.com/bandite, you can see the link on the left, right, left, your left, my right. Or you can follow me at @gentingent. Also like and subscribe. It really helps out if you subscribe to the channel. So you can see more awesome stuff and scary stuff like this to fill your nightmares. Thanks for watching. You want to say bye? Where did that come from? Okay. Goodbye, everybody. Bye-bye. Love you. Mwah, mwah.